Hey, welcome to Beyond Time Management. I'm Dr. Lon Schiffbauer, and this is Module 8, Cultivating Self-Motivation. In our previous module, we talked about how to build stakeholder support for whatever project we're working on. After all, we can't do everything alone. We need help. But now that we have their support, we need to keep going. We need to get the work done. And that means being motivated. I don't have to tell you that, motivation can be a little mercurial. It's not always easy to maintain. So in this module, that's what we're going to talk about, cultivating self-motivation. You see, here's the deal. It may very well be that as you've been watching these episodes, you've thought to yourself, well, this isn't rocket science. The guy isn't telling me anything I don't already know. It's really sort of obvious, and everybody's telling me I need to do this stuff. And you would be right. But here's the thing. It's not knowing the principles that makes us successful. It's following the principles. Knowing isn't enough. We need to be doing. And doing means finding the motivation to do. Okay. So with that, let's move forward. The way I'm going to approach this particular module is by sharing with you 5 principles of motivation, 5 motivational theories, if you will, and then kind of talk about how we might apply the ideas behind these theories to our own work. Now, just calling out, not every theory is going to resonate with you, some more than others. But just kind of see which ones make the most sense to you, speak to you the most, and we'll work through ways to integrate the ideas into your own workflow. The first one is goal-setting theory. The idea behind goal-setting theory is that you are motivated when you set challenging goals, break those goals into smaller milestones, and track progress, making adjustments as necessary. Sound familiar? This is what we've been talking about from the very beginning. Setting a long-term objective, breaking that down into milestones, and then setting our tactical input goals and tracking progress against schedule. Everything we've talked about is around goal-setting theory. And there's a reason. It tends to work. But here's one aspect of goal-setting theory that we have not discussed that I want to invite you to consider. Don't be afraid to set challenging, aggressive goals that fire you up and get you excited. Here's the thing. If you set a small, sort of really easy to achieve goal, it doesn't really light a fire under your ass, right? It's just kind of, I can go off and do that anytime. And the idea that you can go off and do it at any time means there's no hurry. You get what I'm saying. But when we set challenging, aggressive goals, it kind of wells up within us this sort of sense of fear and trepidation, but also excitement. And that can be a great driver when it comes to motivating action. The next theory is self-determination theory. Self-determination theory says you are most motivated when you feel a sense of autonomy, competence, and relatedness. By autonomy, I mean you can do what you want, how you want, and you don't really answer to anyone but yourself. Autonomy is a great motivator because you're doing it for your reasons. More about that in a moment. Competence means you get to do what you're good at, and we feel good when we're doing what we're good at, and you get to increase your skills, increase your competencies. And that also drives us to want to push forward and ever improve. Finally, relatedness is you get to work with the people you want to work with, and you feel this bond, this sense of camaraderie, band of brothers and sisters and all that good stuff. And when you work with folks that bring out the best in you, you're motivated to perform. Now, one thing about self-determination theory is that it really focuses on intrinsic motivation, doing something because it's personally rewarding to you, rather than for external rewards and pressures. What I mean by this is that intrinsic motivation means doing something because it's inherently rewarding and enjoyable. It's who you are. It's what you do. It's kind of how you define yourself. It is how you self-actualize. This is just who I am. This is in stark contrast to extrinsic motivation, which is doing something for an external reward or to avoid punishment. This is pretty much how work works, right? When you go off to work and so forth. Why do you work? I need a paycheck. Why do you perform? Because I don't want to get in trouble. I mean, obviously, there's more to it than that. But that's the idea behind extrinsic motivation. I need things from the outside world, so I am willing to work to get these things. The way I like to put it is extrinsic motivation is, I'll do it if you pay me, whereas intrinsic motivation is, I'll pay you to let me do it. Think of a hobby or something you have, right? Golf or triathlons or crochet. It doesn't matter. Whatever hobby you have, you probably spend a lot of money for the privilege of engaging in that hobby. That's intrinsic motivation. So, self-determination theory in action. Connect your goals to things that drive you intrinsically and give you a sense of autonomy, competence, and relatedness. In other words, go off and do things for your own reason, things that you enjoy doing and you're good at, and allow you to work with people who you enjoy engaging with. Next, we have expectancy theory. Expectancy theory tells us that motivation is driven by the belief that effort will lead to performance, performance will lead to rewards, and that the rewards will be personally meaningful and valuable to us. Put another way, the work you do is going to be recognized and is going to be rewarded, and those rewards will be the sort of rewards you want that are important to you. Some people like rewards of money. Some people like rewards of time off. Some people like rewards of promotions or additional responsibilities. That's the idea behind expectancy theory. Now, as you can see, expectancy theory highlights the importance of setting a clear connection between effort, results, and personal value of the outcome. In other words, you want to make sure that the work you're doing leads to the results you want, and that the results you want give you the rewards you want. Do this and you will be motivated to perform because you want those rewards. They're important to you. They have personal meaning to you. Next, we have the progress principle. The progress principle tells us that you feel most motivated when you perceive progress, even incremental progress, toward meaningful goals and objectives. This is a key aspect that we talked about in the first module, Module 1, setting a purpose and vision. You want to make sure that what you're working on really matters to you. And so progress toward this goal, that's motivating. And here's the thing, even small wins can significantly increase your motivation as you work toward your goals. Progress, no matter how small, how incremental, sort of fires us up according to the progress principle. So putting this into action, track and celebrate your wins, even your small wins. Enjoy your progress against schedule and let this fuel your work, your desire to keep moving forward. Finally, we have flow theory. Now, flow theory is something that we talked about in our previous module, but it's worth really exploring deeply. The founder of flow theory is a researcher named Csikszentmihalyi. Good luck trying to remember how to pronounce that. I kind of go with Csikszentmihalyi. It makes me think of my wife. Anyway, flow theory, let's talk about it. According to Csikszentmihalyi, flow is a state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seems to matter. The experience is so enjoyable that people will continue to do it even at great cost for the sheer sake of doing it. I mean, that's really cool, right? Even if it's costing you, remember, intrinsic motivation is I'll pay you to let me do it. People will pay a lot of money to do things that set them in a state of flow, just for the sheer enjoyment of it. So yeah, connect your work to those things that you just enjoy doing intrinsically, that just speak to who you are. Do this, and frankly, you'll have a hard time stopping rather than starting your work. And remember, in modules 5 and 6, we talked about how to set up our environments and systems to really facilitate moving into a state of flow. So if you haven't watched those yet, go off and check those out. They're really going to help you. Okay, so this is motivation, which is like super important. But the fact of the matter is, even if we're motivated, oftentimes we find ourselves procrastinating. It's weird. We love doing what we do and we're motivated to do it, but we still procrastinate. And so that's what we're going to discuss in our next module, how to overcome procrastination. So stick with me and let's keep moving forward. All right? Well, that's all I have for today. So go off and make some trouble and we'll talk again soon. Professionally meaningful and valuable.